even before I ever traveled to US. So
Awesome.
yeah.
We are in Pasadena, California tonight.
Yeah.
And again, it is February 1. It is our very first Prism Method Live this year 2023.
Number 14. And the
total.
subject is very ambitious. Everything you need to know about tango in ballroom dancing. And we
Ooh.
assume international style, of course, but many things, especially mechanically, will be the same probably for smooth. Let me start by saying thank you to Lilia, because she always, we always do these lives together, and I tend to plan things, but also to improvise a lot, and she's always there to pick it up, and I'm very, very grateful that she's my co-pilot here, and sometimes I'm her co-pilot as well. I hope
how we roll. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not messing up,
Never.
too much when we are doing it.
Never. I remember when we were doing our first lives, we were so nervous.
Yeah.
And it was about 2 years ago when we just started this, and we picked up since then. And I think we are more confident right now, and we improvise much more.
Yeah.
However, today we have prepared quite a few interesting and important themes that we want to talk about in tango specifically. And Yaroslav here is a huge fan of tango. I think it's one of your most favorite dances, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Really like this dance, but we have like a love-hate relationship, I should say. Also, I have to say that many people understand tango different way, probably unfortunately. Why I'm saying unfortunately? Because then we have so many opinions about the dance, and then when judges have so many opinions about the dance, then you have mess with your marks and the directions that you need to go with your dancing technically. So that makes it really, really hard. And I have also noticed that tango, together with Venice waltz, if we're looking at competitions and at marks, are always like love or hate dances, because waltz,
right?
Waltz, foxtrot, quickstep, more or less, if a couple is dancing on like third or fourth place, that's the placement they get. But tango, some competitions we would win, right? And in tango we have a mix from 1 to 5, let's say, and the second couple has a mix from 1 to 5, and the third couple from 1 to 5th places. So it's really a mess. And I think our relationship with tango is more based on how we feel about this dance together, and not so much about the judges' marks. Because if you remember, there were many competitions where marks were quite bad, but we realized that there is nothing we should change, So
and it felt good dancing it.
Yeah, exactly. And it felt good, and it kind of prevailed at the end, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, guys, if you're still competing and you're really worried about your marks at the competition, I can tell you that
don't worry.
After the retirement, you forget it very quickly. It's by far not the most important thing in your career, and you're talking about it right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what was the last time I was checking marks? It's really how you feel about your dancing.
Yep.
Of course, how it looks from the outside. Perhaps your teacher can guide you in terms of that, or you can judge yourself from the video. But it's really about you, not about what other people think of you. Yeah. We went very deep with this one.
Yeah, it's okay. I see that my mom, she is doing a really good job learning English, and now she can just message in English. I think this is pretty amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. The next step is to learn tango for mom.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
So first of all, let me start by saying that tango is coming the best to our knowledge from Argentina, and Argentine tango is famous dance, and they said that's the most Googled dance in the world. So there are more requests on Google about tango because it's Argentine tango than about any other dance. And I have to be fair. In my opinion, what ballroom people did to tango is a crime. Starting from the music and finishing with some really strange, choreographies and mechanics and other things. And it's really important for me to say it in the beginning of this lesson, because if we understand that, then we will understand more the choices that we actually have in our movement based on the music that's supposed to be different, but it's not the authentic music, and so on and so on. So my first point would be that somehow they made tango like a march. kind of the military sound like beat. Yeah. It's supposed not to be like that. Of course, in Argentine tango, there are different variations of tango. I'm not a big expert, but I think at least 4 that I can recall, maybe more. If you guys, by the way, know all the variations of all the dances of tango in Argentine tango program, please comment. Would be great to, maybe to pronounce it today. Yeah.
We are not experts in Argentine tango. Again, we're talking from the ballroom dance perspective, international standard style.
But studying a bit history of dance, we understand that it's supposed not to be a march, and unfortunately it is. Why is it important? It is important because our body is there to visualize the music when we're dancing. And if we focus on tango strictly as a march and we start visualizing the march and the strict part, the strict tempo with our bodies, we are in a lot of trouble, and we are kind of misleaded in terms of what kind of vision we are trying to show with our dance, what kind of choreography we're choosing, and so on and so on. And we are competing with what kind of criteria. If we are competing in the criteria who is the best Martian person on the floor, it is very sad. If we know that it's supposed not to be a march, but something else, maybe more lyrical, more intimate, more flowing, then I think we're moving the right direction.
I love those keywords.
Yeah, if we're competing in that, then I think competition will be very interesting, and we will have better feeling of the dance
and enjoy it more.
And enjoy it more, of course, between each other. Between 2 partners and between, I don't know, the audience.
Now, very often, especially if you are competing in international standard style, dancing tango can be quite intense at the competition. It is coming at you as a second dance in a round, and usually by the end of tango, if it's not done properly, you are already feeling like you're super tired and ready to quit. So if you ever experience that, perhaps dancing rounds in the studio or performing in the competition, and you ever felt like tango is killing you, please leave us a comment below. Let us know. It's okay to admit it. I think every dancer has gone through it at some point eventually. I was through the stages where my neck was killing me when I was younger. When in my teenage years, I would do crazy things with my head in tango. And Yaroslav, I'm sure, has gone through the similar feeling.
Many years ago,
during your love-hate relationships.
When we've been dancing together in youth category, like under 21, I remember my anti-record for tango from the beginning of the dance to be absolutely exhausted and muscle pain and everything. It was probably 15 to 20 seconds.
Right away.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, wow, you are so young, and in 15 seconds you cannot move already, and it's just the second dance. You have no chance. Yeah, but it was, now it is really clear to me, and I kind of suspected it at that point as well, that it's purely because of lack of knowledge and bad technique, and it happened to be true.
Wrong approach overall, right?
I am the life example. Yes, and wrong approach. I remember at that time I really wanted to pick up this Martian beat and be the strongest, the strongest 19 years old on the floor, which is a little bit crazy. Yeah.
All right, lyrical remark here. Today's live is sponsored by supported by NY USA Practice Wear. We are very happy to collaborate with guys for this live today. Yeah. So NY is the practice wear brand that Yaroslav is wearing today. And they were very kind. Everything total NY look.
Very comfortable. And
they were very kind and offered our viewers today, our Prism Method subscribers, a discount for men's practice wear. And I believe 10%. You can find the link.
Yes, the link is attached under the video. And then if you go on their website, the promo code should work automatically. But if it doesn't work, it's Prism, PRISM.
It gives you 10% discount for amazing practice wear.
So we would like to encourage everybody to give some support to our friends who supported us. And I must say, from my perspective, I teach in this practice wear and dance a little bit practice. So it's really, really comfortable, really happy. All right.
Moving on into tango.
Yeah.
So tango is the only dance that is not a swing dance in our international standard program. And by swing dance, we usually assume that the dance has rise and fall. And it also has some elements of sway that happens during the rise. So therefore, whenever we are moving, we create an image of a full pendulum or metronomic swing courses during the dance. Now, tango is not one of those dances, and that means that it doesn't have rise or fall, as well as it doesn't have a lot of sway. It has elements and figures that will have something that is called broken sway. For example, in the oversway figure, which is obviously oversway, and that will have some broken sway in the body. However, mostly the dance is rotary. So it's progressive and rotary, and it doesn't have quite a lot of elements that our swing dances would have.
And if you guys remember our lecture on rise and fall, we do not use and we do not have this logic here that we move body trunk so much down and so much up. So our idea is to move the rib cage and pelvis, to move more horizontal across the floor. There can be a little pickup, but the pickup is not a part of the general pathway of movement in this dance, neither pendulum nor metronomic. So we are thinking as a core movement, something very horizontal to the floor. However, if we feel we need to do a slide up before releasing the body weight, we can do it, but it's not a part of the general pathway.
I would say on a higher level, we can of course discuss a little bit more complicated routes and pathways that we take in our body, and perhaps they will have a little bit more of an up and down feeling.
Yeah, I was thinking only about difficult steps. Lilia is right.
If so on a higher level, yes, we will probably discuss that on a personalization level, where you choose your individual pathways that you want to take in your body. However, on a general mechanical layer here, we do not have any rise and fall. As Yaroslav has said, sometimes we'll have a pickup, and that would be related to either a position change or whenever we close our feet. So that will sometimes have a change of level just because of us coming from the center balance, for example, to feet together position. As you can see, if I'm split weight in between 2 feet, or I'm with my feet together, I will appear slightly higher. Yep. But that is not going to be considered the rise and fall that we have in the swing dance when we actually fall. Now, how do we achieve that flatter motion in tango without having the up and down, without having the pendulum swing? It is very important to recognize that the step in tango has a slightly different logics than a step in a swing dance. Whenever we dance a swing dance, we would consider the end of the step when we're fully transferring the weight on the foot. So the full weight change from one foot to another will be considered a complete step. When in tango we do that, we will immediately experience the roll through the foot, and we will start going up. So that will be the beginning of our pendulum that we wouldn't want. Therefore, in tango, the step is considered finished whenever we are in center balance position. So center balance is absolutely crucial for tango. I'll just mirror Yaroslav here. Center balance will be considered our mark or our checkpoint for tango whenever we are moving from one step to another, let's say. So anytime we're moving in tango, we want to go from center balance to center balance. And we use our leg mechanics to do that.
And the count for those central balance positions would always fall on the full beat. It can be 1, 2, 3, or 4, again, depending how you count it. But the logic behind it supposed to be 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, or and 3 and 4. And I'm not trying to do mistake that is unfortunately very, very popular. Every time I see people doing it, I feel the struggle. I can see it by by the tendon on the neck and the skin, the redness of the skin, but nevertheless people still do it. So the very common mistake here would be that changes the idea of the dance dramatically when people are trying to go from one foot to another foot, from one foot to another foot, one foot to another foot. Not only the mechanics are wrong, but many bad things are happening here. For example, we are out of control. I'm talking about bad part right now. We are out of control of our body weight, and we are basically falling. It's really hard to stay on balance because we will be accelerating. Our body weight is accelerating every time we hit the leg, and every other step it will be faster, faster, and faster.
Yeah.
And what are we doing when we are falling? We're trying to hold it, not to fall. So now the conflict, even in terms of idea, is that we're moving and holding, which is very, very contradictory, because we need to either move or hold, but we cannot make it happen simultaneously. Unfortunately, many people do make it happen simultaneously, and that's why
becomes a struggle.
The rush on the skin is all from this struggle. So when we are doing what Lilia says, from one central balance to another central balance, it should fall on 1, 2, 3, on 4, full beat. And of course, you know, if we're thinking about slows and quicks, slow is a 2-beat value and quick is 1-beat value. So if I want to do the slow, I will just arrive on 2. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. If I want to do it faster, I'm just actually making up this exercise right now, right? If I want to make it faster, let's say it's going to be 1, 2. So now I'm just keeping one step per
The good
beat.
example for that one will be if we are talking about different rhythms, 2 walks like Yaroslav has done. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, which is going to
slow
be a slow. Or for example, any 2 steps of reverse turn, which will start quick. So that will be 1, 2. And from there, it could finish into a follow-away position or into reverse turn. So whenever the timing is quick, then the beat 1 or the beat 2 will be the center balance.
Yeah.
So what center balance gives us, it prevents us from rising.
Yeah.
Because whenever we're getting on the foot, we will inevitably appear higher. Yeah, and we will have that pickup that will then have to drop, and then eventually we will look like we are jumping. Sorry, I'm crisscrossing you.
No
so
problem.
we are getting into that pendulum pathway. So that is something that we would usually want to avoid. And the same, obviously, when going backwards for the ladies, for example, or whenever gentlemen are going backwards, we obviously are going to have exactly the same center balance position on the beat. If it was a 2 walks, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So center balance prevents us from hopping, from swinging, from rising and falling.
How do we check central balance?
Yes.
That's important part, because we do have it in tango a lot, but we also do have it in other dances. So we can check it simply by, after we made the first step and we are in central balance, or we believe we're in central balance, try to bend both legs at the same time, just as an exercise. It always, even if you're not central balance, when you bend it, it always kind of calibrates you, and you have your weight falling right in between 2 feet. And again, here, always here in between 2 feet. Do you have a belt by any chance?
I don't. I do have this.
Can I
little
use
belt.
that one?
Of course. This is Yaroslav's favorite.
Never mention any names, but I must say big thank you to Vicky Barr from England, showing me this exercise. I think that not only she is a great teacher, but also this exercise is a really good visual representation of where our body weight is. So if you hold this, I'm sorry, it's just black on black. I hope you guys can see it. Yeah. So if you hold it somewhere here, you can see where it's pointing not only on your feet, but also if I start moving, now you can see that it's really in between.
Hanging in
2
between,
feet.
right?
That's my central balance, and then I'm going to here. That's my another central balance. Yeah. So if you use a belt with
is
heavier and something at the bottom, I think
not
that's
need this anymore.
really good visual representation, and you guys can also practice that. And Lilia, if you don't mind, I would like to go into staccato stuff.
All right. Yes, coming back to whatever Yaroslav has mentioned in the beginning about Argentine tango. So obviously, again, we are not experts in Argentine tango. However, we have reviewed a lot of Argentine tango dancers, and we were very happy to watch one of the best couples, Argentine tango dancers,
from Argentina,
from actual Argentina,
yeah.
performing at the competition in Kyiv, Ukraine, 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago. Time flies. So what we've
no, more than 2, almost.
You think so?
Yeah. 2021.
2021. Yes. So whenever we witness Argentine tango, we can see that great dancers have a great fluidity in their body. as well as they have great speed and flexibility, and they do have accents that they put into their dance. However, the core movement is always very fluid and very consistent. And this is what Yaroslav has mentioned, unfortunately, is being forgotten in our international standard tango, and is translated into a sharp, abrupted, stopped movement that is sometimes called staccato. Okay?
And
so,
we
which
understand,
is a musical term.
yeah, it's coming from us listening to this Martian type of strict tempo that we have and this abrupt beat. And that's why it was very important for me to say in the beginning what I said about the crime that has done to tango in terms of the music in standard.
It can be quite misleading, let's say, but we have what we have, and most music
I'm more
is
radical.
pretty accented with a hard, consistent beat. However, coming back to the roots of tango, and again, looking at the body mechanics and the way we are built whenever we are moving, we have to have some body movement embedded in our dancing. Meaning, whenever we move, we have to have our trunk. As you know, we stress this a lot in our videos, in our teaching videos, in our courses a lot. Whenever we are moving our body, trunk, or we say the spine, sometimes including our head, has to initiate the movement. This is how we walk, this is how we run, this is how human body is meant to move in space. Whatever happens right now to international tango basically says that we have to keep our body very still, and we have to accent everything with the leg. So basically, our leg starts to move us, and our body becomes very static and very still, very stuck. And what happens basically, we become very leggy, and we become very abrupt, and we lose that fluidity that the Argentine tango has, and we lose the fluidity that we need in order to communicate between two people in the couple, because we're dancing in a very close proximity, we're touching all the time, and we need that fluidity in order to give each other signals where we're going by using our body trunk. So very often we forget the most important thing about tango, that it is still a dance in the same dance position, in the same relation to our partner. And in order to communicate and in order to move out of balance naturally, we still have to move our spines in space. That tells us that whenever we are about to take a step, we still need to use our body flight. If we were to do something like 2 walks, this is not going to be the first initial action that I'm going to take. My first initial movement in my body is going to still be in my spine. So if I want to go forward, I would still lean forwards with my body, and then I will proceed by placing my foot in front of me and arriving in the center balance. And again, whenever I want to continue, I'm not just reaching there with the leg, keeping my body still. I would continue balancing forward, out of balance, and then take another step.
Let me build in to Lilia's.
All right?
Yeah.
You want to do backward walk?
Yeah, it's okay. So she moves me with the body, I take a step. Body, step. Body, step. Body, step.
And of course, we're stopping in between.
Step. Body, something else.
We're stopping in between right now, but if we were to do it very continuously, there would not be any stop. So what we get a consistent spine movement across the floor all the time without a guess and break, guess and break, guess and break.
Why is it important then to have this central balance? Central balance teaches your legs how to coordinate and how to move once the body goes. And the process of it is, I don't want to say very simple, but it's, it's very,
the concept is usually simple. It's to apply it that is
the
difficult.
execution is more difficult. Yeah. So how do we teach our legs how to act, right? We set certain conditions, and this is the condition that we set here. Central balance on 1, 2, 3, or 4. In this case, how can we teach our legs? If we are on 1 in central balance, then our both legs have body weight. None of the legs are free of the weight. So now, in order to move the leg to the next one, I have to pick up and place the leg, and then, of course, initiate that motion with the body. So as I initiate motion with the body, now the leg that I pick up and place, the leg that I move has a body weight, and that's why I need to pick up and place, because the body weight is, heavy in the leg, let's say. So right now I'm gonna be moving my back leg. So I move the body and I have to pick up that body weight of the leg and place. I'm moving the body trunk, I pick up the body weight of the leg and I place. This is where this authenticity is coming from, if you would like. I hope Lilia agrees with me.
Yes, of course. Okay, so what we have a continuous body weight movement across the floor that causes our selves to go out of balance and therefore step, and our checkpoint is in center balance, meaning our step equals center balance. So we're going from center balance to center balance in our legs. We don't aim to collect the foot underneath the body. We aim to place it into another step ahead of us or behind us whenever we're moving, wherever we are moving. So if we would to do, for example, something like 2 walks together with Yaroslav, and we would take it in a little practice hold here, and we would to go into a little space just so you can see again how...
I don't think they can see anyway.
Let's turn a little bit so you can see that there is a little space between us, and we will not place the legs in the first place for these 2 walks in tango, but we will still move 2 trunks before we place, and we continue and then place. So we would go quick, and then right away out. So it is very important that we still initiate the body movement before the step. And this will give us the fluidity, the flexibility, the communication that Yaroslav was talking about in the very beginning. Do we have a comment? Have you read this?
Yes, we do have a comment. And while I'm reading the comment, you guys have to like this video. It's really important. So the comment is, what I did with my teacher for a showcase with the fusion Argentine tango and tango. Argentine is very, very close together, sensual and slow, and tango becomes more macho and lively. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, if that's if that's your opinion, I agree with that.
It of course depends which mood you're putting into your choreography, into your performance. But again, we can go into the performance layer, and we can go into personalization layer with our tango and experiment there as much as we want. At the moment, we're mainly talking about mechanics. If we take our Prism method, layers, and we're talking about how the mechanics can help you survive the tango, how the mechanics can help you do something more anatomically efficient and feel better about it. So, of course, on the personalization layer, you can feel stronger, more accented, more macho, if you say so. So, of course, you can characterize it in any way you want. However, mechanically, we have this idea of consistent spine moving across the floor that is not accented. So I think Yaroslav has a lot of stories to tell on how he was trying to accent every single step in his tango and how painful it physically was.
But we're going to staccato, legato subject. Yeah.
Yes.
This is my subject.
A lot of people try to accent and try to make tango staccato in every single step, every single movement. Try to really make it strong and punch every single step. And we ourselves had an experience trying to do so as well, which was very tiring and exhausting during the competition, and it didn't look good. So whenever we watched our tango, we're like, oh my goodness, this looks really bad. This falls apart. We die in the end, and it doesn't look fluid. Doesn't look like we communicate. And this was back in the times when we were trying to accent every single step.
50 years ago, yeah.
Don't do that anymore.
that left us with a very important question, which is, what is staccato?
And where do we find it?
Clearly, we've been told something, or maybe we've assumed something that was not the truth. And I will answer this question as soon as I read the comment.
I was about to do the same thing.
Would you say tango is more passionate than angry? I see so many angry facial features when people dance the tango. That's from Trank.
Okay, so
Trank, we are, of course, agree with you that, I guess the angry facial features bothers you. That's why you're asking this question, I would assume. So tango should not be angry or aggressive in our...
It could be. But
it could be, but not for a long...
necessarily be.
Yeah, for a long time. Emotions should come and go, but we cannot say for the next 2 minutes we're angry and aggressive only. And I'm afraid that's that's the case. That's why it bothers everybody.
Many times people ask me about facial expression. I say I smiled in tango very often. If I
Yeah.
feel like, the emotion has to come off your movement, out of your motion, they say, right?
And it can be any emotion, by the way. It can be even happiness.
Yeah.
It can
Totally.
be, I don't know, tango for me is more like a mysterious dance, maybe show-off dance.
It's very sexy as well and passionate, definitely.
That's an option
Very
too.
sensual.
Yeah. It just when you are competing, you cannot compete in sexiness. I don't know. That's
Oh, you can.
you can. Lilia can, I cannot. So that's why. And actually, by the way, partners can have different idea about the movement that they're doing at the same time. This is totally fine.
As long as the mechanics is synchronized.
Yeah. So let me carry on with the staccato, legato, and other things. So first of all, if we say staccato, that's the most popular term. However, there are two other terms that we have to include together, which would be legato and rubato. So those are three main terms. What are those? Those are manners of how we can execute the music with our body. If we are musicians, we would execute, I don't know, piano player would execute it with the fingers. Violin, I mean, probably, musicians mostly with the hands, right? But we can use all our body, which I think should be a great asset, because not only hands, we can have legs, rib cage, pelvis, head, really important, facial expression. And when we understand that it's a manner, then we should find a distinction between those three. It is definitely related to the music. It is related to the rhythm as well, because we are dancing to the music and we use the tempo. We use the tempo and we use the rhythm that we hear. And every step, every figure that we're doing has some rhythmical value behind it. We know it from syllabus. So legato will be the soft manner of execution of that movement. Staccato will be a more abrupt manner of execution. And then rubato will be, which means stealing, if we translate from Italian. That would be the execution where you're stealing from one beat into another beat. So that stealing can be any way you understand stealing. You can have certain acceleration, it can be sharp, it can be soft as well, but definitely it's something about different speed. So if we talk about, I see a lot of comments going on. Yeah, let me just finish with my thought. So if we talk about legato, this is basically everything so far that we showed with Lilia. We're moving very, very softly. We're using the body flight. Our legs are still have pick up and place. If we are doing staccato, the best way, in our opinion, to think about staccato. Now I said our opinion, and I'm not sure if Lilia shares the same opinion, or, but I think she does. The best way to understand it is to say that no matter which speed you have, you must have a sudden stop, an abrupt stop at the end of it. The most of an impact, of course, if you have a lot of speed, you're very fast, and it's a very, so that would be
the best part for staccato, right? The best opportunity to use the staccato.
Not just opportunity. I mean, that's how you use it. I think opportunity comes more from the routine, and that's another thing that we will touch briefly today. But if I want to show legato motion, it's gonna be like that, legato manner, which is soft. If I want to show staccato, I would probably need more speed, and it will be sudden stop. So that would be my staccato. I can even do it soft, but then there should be a sudden stop, right? Now, where do I use it in the body? You can use it anywhere you want. I think the body trunk is the important part here, right? But most visual part would be probably our legs, and very often our head as well. So if I want to move in the soft and legato way, that will be my movement if I am doing the two walks. If I want to move in a staccato way, so then it will be still soft movement, but at the end, there will be a sharp stop. I think the problem starts where, not I think, I know that The problem starts when you want to move staccato, which doesn't make any sense, because you
Exactly.
want to stop staccato. You don't want to move staccato. And this vocabulary is really, really important here. So every time you're exiting the promenade, as an example, I'm just going to the examples right now. Every time you're exiting the promenade, and if the idea of that part of the routine that you exit and you begin your movement, you cannot exit promenade staccato, because it's like, I don't know,
Trying to move and stop at the same
imagine
time.
somebody, just the huge arm from above, picks you up from the ground and smashes on the floor. That's my this is
Visual
my
about it.
visual when people tell me I will use staccato right now to accelerate. So it's like I will accelerate, I will stop to accelerate. This is how it can be translated, and that makes no sense in English language, in logic, and it makes no sense in dancing as well. So if I exit the promenade, this is definitely soft and legato. If I have opportunity, yeah,
Okay.
thank you. That will help. So if I exit the promenade, soft and legato. If I stop, that can be a staccato. Again, I move, and this should be soft. If I have a foot closure, this can be staccato. But I cannot assume, and I actually cannot even execute. And that was my problem when I was dying after 15 seconds of dance. So would be strange for me to move staccato. First of all, it's impossible. Second of all, if I fake it, then it's going to be every step should be abrupt. And now I am already tired just by moving on this like five square feet.
Yeah, so this is very popular, especially going out of the promenade. And we have a promenade question, by the way, which we're going to answer in a few moments. It is very popular, if Yaroslav, I use you here.
Oh, you need me?
Please. It is very popular that, again, we're trying to be accented and create some sort of staccato movement in every single step. And then it becomes very tiring. So our idea is whenever we move, it is very gradual and continuous. Whenever we stop, we can accent. So usually we accent by either foot or head. It can be a double action in the head. It can be a single head turn. So that is how we are going to define continuous movement, progressive movement, and then accented movement whenever we try to create a sharp stop. So if we put that to demonstrate a two-accent progressive link here, for example, we would really progress smoothly and gradually with a lot of body flight, slow, slow, quick, quick, and accent the promenade.
And accent the second quick out of slow, slow, quick, quick. So there is an opportunity only for one quick and one action to be staccato. The bad version would be,
yes,
and
exactly.
I'm ready to to sacrifice.
Okay.
Yeah, the bad
accent
version.
Every step.
I say tango is staccato. So now I'm going to go staccato, 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 staccato. Yeah. So this is, we all have that friend that dances like that.
Do not try it home.
Yeah, that mainly is the problem. And please, guys, comment on what you just heard. We would like to hear from you. Can you relate to it? Maybe something was not clear. We'll be happy to answer your questions.
And of course, there are many more examples we can show you with the continuous movement and accented movement. So I have a question from Trank and from Diana. I think that is very good. Emily here says that the song can depict different emotions. Totally agree.
Diana, I was that friend too. So
everybody was that person.
Believe me, on the same page here.
If you're struggling with that really big difference, if we stop accent every step. So a question from Diana: in promenade, is follower's chest facing partner or in the direction you are stepping, and why? This is a great question. It is connected to our dance position relation to each other. And of course, in promenade position, I will ask Yaroslav here to assist me on this side, please. In promenade position, you can see our feet. They're going to be 90 degrees in relation to each other. In other words, my feet are pointing diagonally to the center. His feet are pointing diagonally to the wall. We have no body rotation, no nothing. We're obviously very open, 90 degrees in the body as well. So whenever we are trying to stay connected in promenade position, our shoulders are going to be slightly more turned to each other, meaning My shoulders will be turned to the left. Yaroslav's shoulders are going to be turned to the right. We're going to have some space between the feet, some poise, and that is going to be our promenade position. Now, my chest in this case is rather, I'd say, open than close. It is not really facing the partner. It is facing where my feet are.
If Lilia
really.
does this and I
Yeah.
do this, that's the angle.
However, the
crossing.
shoulder blades and the arms, therefore, they are going to turn to the left. That might pull my rib cage to close a little bit, but I'm not trying to close my rib cage because I need that space to move out. Now, whenever we're stepping out, the direction is a shoulder lead, is a movement basically sideways. So whenever we take a step, our feet are going to be still in the same alignment. Our legs are going to be stepping right underneath our shoulders. And again, because the shoulders are turned to each other, take more space so you can see that. Because the shoulders are turned to each other, it is rather a side step than a forward step. Yeah, if we do something like a close promenade.
Yeah.
So I'm really following my right shoulder in this case. It feels like a side step, and direction is side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, Trank is that friend as well. We've all been there. Isn't there a promenade position and promenade movement? In promenade positions, the bodies face each other. When you move out of promenade, especially in the step number 2, the chest must open 1/8.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting question and approach from Emily. I feel that the best way to say promenade position is to say that it's transition, really, because we're not positioning in terms of it's not frozen, but then right away we are moving through that position somewhere else. And I think that's the feedback that Emily has, and I'm sure many of you guys. Thank you, Emily, for comment. It's really good. I'm sure many people have the same feedback that once you are somewhere, as soon as you are moving out, that original position is kind of changing,
else,
you can say evolving into some other motion.
On a simpler level, however, I wouldn't recommend to really open it a lot. And on a simpler level, if we were to maintain the promenade position, those 2 steps are going to be in the promenade position, because once we start really rotating the rib cage open, we might as well lose the couple.
Yeah, we're talking about
external. Yes. I wouldn't even say 1/8, so very little. Otherwise, we can really peel off each other. But again, we have to see that we are in a neutral figure or in the reverse figure afterwards. So that might vary from the
How do you guys feel about staccato manner, legato manner, and other things that we have just mentioned? Have you heard anything like that? Did you know it? Did you not know it? Did you have suspicion that maybe it's something else?
Shouldn't accent every step?
Yeah.
While you're
our routines,
type in the comments. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that our routines in Tango, any routine, is built in a way that you will have overwhelming majority of legato manner rather than staccato manner.
Either basic routines, our syllabus routines, or our open routines.
And by overwhelming, I mean like by far. So probably 80% of the steps should be legato and soft manner, and maybe 20, even less percent should be staccato if we are aligned with with all the principles that we have mentioned.
Emily here says, I love how you describe when you use legato and when to use staccato. I didn't know the names, but I knew the moves.
Yeah, so the moves, I mean, we are not, I don't know Italian language, I like the culture and stuff like that, but I am just a Ukrainian American. You can substitute the names for soft and sharp, and that probably would be the key here. And you just have to understand that sharp means the sudden stop after something soft, and you cannot move sharp. Otherwise, you can move, but it will be like a micro movement with the sudden stop. I cannot say that I'm going to move for the whole long side and everything will be sharp.
It will not look continuous,
Yeah, this is really a conflict of ideas. So the vision is not there a little bit.
So if you in your routine you have something like follow a whisk with natural pivots, or you have follow a slip pivot, follow a reverse slip pivot into something like a Venus cross, it will be always very continuous. with maybe a little bit of accent. So where we can accent, we can create a sharp head turn. For example, in something like a Venus cross, we could close our feet and accent it by picking the foot up and closing it. So that would be a good accent. And as we're doing it, while we're doing it, we're going to really move very continuously. And somewhere on top of that, we might accent with a foot. Hope that was seen.
In the appropriate place. Of course, the appropriate place.
It is not here.
Probably your teacher. First of all, the logic should prevail. If you move, you cannot stop, right? And you cannot be abrupt. But I hope teachers, in the country, they know we can always guide our students and make sure that they do it at the right moment too. So it's all individual and also based a lot on choreography, on specific steps that you guys do for your competition.
If we were to show you something like a follow-away slip pivot, let's see how continuous it can be, and let's try to find what we can accent as we're moving gradually. So again, as we have mentioned, we could either accent the foot or we can accent with a head change. That would be the most isolated and the fastest gesture that we can create to produce a sharp movement. So for example, in the follow-away slip pivot, we could both place the foot, and Yaroslav could experiment with turning his head sharply to the left on the second step or third step even. So
can we do maybe reverse turn to have more syllabus? Or?
Yeah, we can do both.
Yeah. Open reverse turn.
We can do both. Yeah, of course.
Okay, I think what Lilia means is we do follow-away.
We do follow-away first, since we already mentioned. So on top of the gradual spine movement and the body flight, we can always accent with a foot and then do something like a reverse turn. Okay, so we could move gradually and continuously and create on top of it either head rotation or foot placement. I don't know if Yaroslav had a chance to demonstrate the head turn in the follow-away. If you want to do that one more time. Yeah, this direction. So it can be a sharp head turn to the left, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. So in that way, you can see as we're moving, the head can create any accent on top of it. So again, we have to see the choreography. We have to see the opportunities where we can do that. If you want to do reverse turn lady outside, yeah. So that would be another one that is in the syllabus very continuous. And it's very gradual with a lot of body flight. And quick, continuous, quick accent. So we could always accent by picking up and placing the foot in the very end. As well as an option, and here is a idea for somebody who dances basic or syllabus at the competition, how you can spice up your tango routine when the steps are very simple. You could always add a double head action. So double head action is one of the tools that we use to accent in tango, and it is a very, very effective tool. So basically, whenever our head is to the left, instead of just keeping it to the left, we could sometimes accent it by turning it right and left sharply. So we're going to come back right and come back left. Or vice versa, from right, we can go left, right. So that is going to be called the double head action. And for those of you who are doing syllabus again, we could sometimes apply the double head action whenever we have close promenade or whenever we close our feet in the end of reverse turn, like right now. So if Yaroslav and I were going to do the reverse turn lady outside with closing of the feet in the end, we are going to just add a double head action, maybe both of us, just to show this as an example. And again, it can be just one partner doing that, or it can be both partners doing that double head action. Quick, slow, quick, slow. And from there, we can do something else. All right? So as you can see, you could always add an accent if that is needed. If you feel like you're moving too slow or too mellow, you could always use, on top of your correct mechanics, on top of your continuous body flight, you could always use some features, some gestures, such as your double head action.
A few questions here. How long should be the contra check? I think contra check has variety of different rhythms approved, and it can be anything from.
Well, in syllabus, it's slow and slow. if we're going to do something very specific.
And I think it can be and quick, slow, right? As well.
It could be anything once you are experimenting with the rhythms in the open routine, but slow and slow would be the most classic one.
Yeah, so let's just demonstrate.
If we talk about tango.
Yeah.
So if we're doing tango contra check, we're going to go slow and slow to the promenade.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the classical one. If you were to do syllabus, wouldn't really experiment with that. But of course, then we have.
Just want to say, I love your live videos so much. Information about dance is so expensive and inaccessible. So it makes me really happy. Then the two of you are sharing info out of the kindness of your hearts. Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
We appreciate. Happy to share. I think information nowadays, a lot of it is free, and that's fine.
And it should be.
It takes a lot of time and effort to apply it, anyways. So we believe that even if you get the right information, you still need to have certain guidance from teacher. A teacher can be, I don't know, real or virtual or anything like that. But the point is that people have to dance in the correct way, and the information might be tricky sometimes, but then execution is easy. Sometimes information is easy, execution is tricky. But somewhere in between, there is this learning curve. But we do appreciate. And then also Emily says that I heard the open reverse figure in tango, probably open reverse turn, used to describe rubato: quick, pause and slow, quick, slow.
It could be. Again, we're coming on to the musicality layer.
Yeah, open interpretation in terms of musicality. I would say if the case is there is a pro-am, bronze, silver student or kids who are doing closed syllabus and we're competing, I think the cleaner the better. So probably rubato is a little bit too advanced. Yeah, but once you're doing musicality and maybe some personalization, many things can be rubato. Also, you can use rubato in other dances. It's not exclusively for tango. In waltz, you can use it. In foxtrot, actually, foxtrot is a great dance where you can steal from one bar into another bar. So I think there is definitely a market for rubato, definitely.
Yes, but again,
and it's a lot of fun.
If we're using Prism method, we're talking about musicality layer at the moment. So what we want to mention as well in tango, that many times our musical interpretation or the terminology that we use from the music, really, which is musical terminology, we sometimes translate into body mechanics, and sometimes it may create confusion. For example, like staccato. So what is moving in staccato? It is not changing our body mechanics, but it is maybe accenting and stopping or placing the foot or suddenly stopping the body. So we shouldn't translate the musical terms into mechanics. Of course, it will change the timing, it will change the rhythm when you are applying different musical manners, as Yaroslav has mentioned, but it shouldn't really influence your coordination or your mechanics. And otherwise, it can be very tricky.
We cannot say things like, again, if we're using the correct vocabulary, I'm doing staccato action here. That's not, there is no action that is staccato. We can have sway as an action in certain manner, which maybe can be a staccato as well. Like if we are doing, I think it's closed gold oversway.
I was just about to say, let's try to do
oversway. Tango,
yes.
Yeah, really cool step. Yes. I think. I hope I can do it without warm up, because it's pretty difficult. But basically, the point is that as we're doing it, it will be quick, slow, and then the last sway definitely will be more of the abrupt motion, which we can describe as beginning of it. Maybe we can do it one more time. So we can describe that beginning of this one will be definitely a legato for the heel turn, and here will be staccato. So because there is a sudden stop, I think the popular one is chasse and whisk at the very end. Yeah.
We could.
Sorry.
So this is one of the examples when we actually have the sway, and as we mentioned, that tango doesn't have the rise and fall, and therefore it doesn't have an up swing action that we have, which is a combination of rise and sway, really, that we have in, for example, slow waltz. So tango sways are usually going to be directed downwards. And again, in syllabus routine, in syllabus tango, we probably only have the oversway that we will apply the actual broken sway in. And it is going to be really led downwards, okay? Instead of in the waltz, we would combine it with the rise, and it would kind of continue upwards and going to finish our swing pattern. So this is one of the opportunities for us to really go ahead and bend that side. So don't be afraid, it is really a broken sway. So if we were to do that with Yaroslav, again, just the oversway part of it, after our heel turn, we would really maybe turn a little bit more so we can see to the camera. We would really, I would bend my left side, Yaroslav would bend his right side. So this is really a broken sway here at this point. Other than that, not really much sway going on in tango.
One more comment from Emily. Would you please demonstrate the heel turn in tango versus the heel turn in foxtrot, where the toes come together?
This is a very good one. I was actually teaching this today to one of my couples. I hope you can see my feet here. Of course, this is going to be used in our reverse turn lady in line in our syllabus in tango. So we're going to start as well in tango offset, which has some space between the feet. The right foot is slightly shifted backwards. Now the heel turn in tango is a foot placement back with the ball flat. Now what happens with my left foot? I'm going to place my heel right next to my right heel, flat foot on the left. My right toe will close, or my right foot will rather close to the left. And then I will proceed with foot placement, heel flat of the right foot. So the heel turn is basically a very, very tiny point in alignment step in tango because we don't have space for rise, okay? Versus in swing dance, of course, we will go ahead and transfer our body fully to the right heel. If we're talking about reverse turn, the left foot will gradually come underneath my body as I'm turning. My right heel will be my axis, and I'm going to turn over it. Will change my weight to my left toe and go out with toe heel. So again, here, my swing dance, I'm going to have much more rise and then actually collect the feet together, versus in tango, I'm going to really open my toes and then proceed out. So hopefully
wish us luck, because we are going into our judging exam. So I think Lilia has high chance of passing because she knows all these
I'm a nerd.
Nuances, yeah.
Yes, I love syllabus and I love technique books. So never enough times, to refresh the knowledge and come back to it. There's always something, and 1/8 of a turn, 1/16 of a turn can make a big difference in your dancing. So we encourage you to study syllabus.
Let's answer some last minute questions before we wrap up, because we've been going over.
Rumors are that you will be judging some competitions. Of course, eventually, we hope so. We have to get our judging license first, and working on that one right now.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions.
As one of our good friends said, to judge competition first, you have to be invited to judge. But
we will see how that goes.
Luckily, I think we will be able to do that. Yeah.
So if you guys have any more questions about tango, of course, there's not enough time and we don't want to keep you forever. There is, of course, so many more things we can say about tango, starting from the hold, finishing with the mechanics and dynamics of it. But if you have any questions, let's cover those
Emily
today.
says it was very useful. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you for being so active always in our comments. We hope that our lives help you, our live lessons.
And thank you, everybody, for your participation. It's a great pleasure to do our lives.
Thank you so much for eye-opening lessons.
All right.
Thank you. Touring any cities. We are constantly touring. I have a feeling like we never stopped traveling since we retired. We still travel everywhere.
We will be teaching in New York before New York Dance Festival. And we are coming together. So if anyone is, it's weird to say, but if anyone interested in lessons, please let us know. We will be in New York.
Yeah, and we are very often in Florida, actually, and in some other states occasionally. So do reach out. Let us know if you are also traveling.
A lot of
all around.
updates are coming very soon to our website. We will have a separate website, prismmethod.com. So we will update everybody on that, everybody who subscribed to our email list. Please don't forget to like this video. And also we thank to our partners, NY Dance Fashion, for
Supporting
their
today's
love
live.
and support. And if you guys are interested in good practice wear, I believe men's and for
Ladies
men and women as well,
coming
right?
soon. Yeah,
Ladies coming soon, but men's already in US. So 10% discount if you just follow the link below this video.
Or use the promo code Prism. Thank you very much for the
San
information.
Francisco, California area. not on our list yet, but
it is very close. We have some students in San Francisco,
Yeah.
San Jose area. Yeah, so maybe
we will
one day we will let you
everybody
know. Yes.
We're waiting for everybody in Pasadena, California.
Thank you so much, guys, for all your comments. If you have no further questions about Tango, we're going to gradually wrap up. We thank you again for your participation. Please follow us on social media. It's Prism Method by Yaroslav and Lilia. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we are on Instagram. And of course, we post all the updates. And if you want to be first to know about all the news and about new lessons, we post a lot of dance content. Please subscribe to our newsletter at yaroslavlilia.com. Of course, you will have the website underneath this video. And let's stay in touch and let's continue developing our dancing.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your night.